Hello, my friends. My name is Tom, and welcome back to King English Podcast. Today, we are going to talk about something very important. It is all about training your mouth and your mind for English. What do you think about that? I think this is such a great topic because many people ask about it all the time. They often tell me that they can understand English. They can read books, they can listen to songs, they can watch movies, but when it is time to speak, they feel stuck. This is a very common problem. People know a lot of words. They understand what others say, but when they open their mouth to speak, the words do not come out easily. Why does this happen? In my opinion, it is because they have never really trained their mouth. It is like reading a book about how to drive a car, but never actually sitting inside a car and driving it. Your brain knows what to do, but your body has never practiced. It is the same with English. Your brain might know the answer, but your mouth is not ready to say it. You feel stuck, maybe shy, or maybe just slow. Our mouths are used to speaking our first language, so speaking English needs special training. Our mouths are like muscles. They are not like arm muscles, but they still need exercise. Think about going to the gym. If you want strong arms, you lift weights. You cannot just think about lifting weights. You actually have to do it. And you cannot go to the gym just once and expect to have big muscles. It takes time and regular practice. The same is true for your mouth muscles. When you speak English, you need to train them so they can make the sounds and let the words flow naturally. At the beginning, it might feel strange and a little stiff, but with practice, it becomes easy. So, if someone knows many words but cannot speak, it is not because they are not smart, okay? It is because their mouth has not had enough practice. Not about intelligence. It is about muscle memory. Your mouth needs to remember how to form the English sounds until they feel natural. One of my favorite and most effective techniques for this is called shadowing. Shadowing is like being the shadow of a speaker. Here is how it works. You listen to someone speaking English in a podcast or a video, and you repeat exactly what they say, almost at the same time or right after them. You copy their pronunciation, their intonation, and their rhythm. It is like you are an actor trying to sound exactly like the person speaking. You do not just say the words, you try to feel them to BV. For example, if you watch a video and the person says hello, how are you? Today, you say hello. How are you today? Right after them, trying to sound the same. The important thing is to keep going, even if you do not understand every word. Just keep repeating the sounds. The goal is to get your mouth used to making those English sounds and patterns. This method is great because it helps both your listening and your speaking at the same time. You are listening carefully so you can repeat, and you are speaking out loud so you are practicing your mouth muscles. You can start with simple things, like short sentences. There are many videos online for beginners. The key is to imitate. Once you get comfortable with shadowing, you can try another method, repeating simple phrases daily. This is like warm-up exercises for your mouth. When you wake up or during a break, say some simple English phrases. Many people think they need to say very complex things to practice, but that is not true. Simple phrases help a lot to unlock your mouth. For example, you can say, I am ready, I can do it, let's go, good morning, or thank you. Say them with feeling. If you are happy, say, I am ready with a big smile. This helps your mouth and also connects words with emotions, which makes it more natural. The more you repeat these simple phrases, the more comfortable your mouth becomes with them. They become automatic, like when you learn a new song. You read the lyrics, but after many times, you just sing it without thinking. Once the simple phrases feel easy, you can move on to longer ones little by little. Now here is a tip that might sound a little funny, but is very important. Speak out loud, even if you are alone. This is my favorite one. People might look at you strangely if you do it in the supermarket, but at home it is perfect. Do not be shy. Your home is your safe English zone. You can talk to yourself in English. It might feel silly at first, but it is very powerful. You can talk about your day, what you are doing, or what you want to do. For example, I am making coffee now. It smells good. I need a cup. Or I need to clean the house today. First, I will clean the kitchen, then the bedroom. Or you can just describe things. You see, this is a book. It is read. It is on the table. The great thing is, you do not need a partner for this. You are your own best English partner. Nobody is there to correct you, so you can speak freely. The goal here is just to make noise in English, to get your mouth used to producing sounds. Even if you make mistakes, it is okay because it is your practice time. The more you speak aloud, the more natural it feels, and your brain starts to connect words with actions or objects. This is very effective. We have talked about training our mouths, so now let us talk about training our minds. How can we start to think in English? It sounds difficult, but it is a process you can do step by step. You do not need to think about complex ideas at first. For example, you do not need to think about the meaning of life in English right away. Start with simple words. When you see a glass of water, think water. When you feel hungry, think I am hungry. When you feel cold, think it is cold instead. of thinking the word in your first language and then translating it to English. Just try to think directly in English. It is okay if you do not know all the words. Just use the words you know. Little by little, you can start thinking in simple phrases like, I need to go to the store, or the weather is nice today. This is very helpful because when we speak, we often translate in our heads, and that makes us slow. When you start to think in English, your fluency changes. Your brain starts to work directly in English without the extra step of translation. It is like building a superhighway for your thoughts. Start small with single words, then move to simple phrases. Yourself to be perfect. You will feel your brain changing and becoming more comfortable with English. We have trained our mouths and our minds. Now, let us talk about how to make English a natural part of our daily lives. This is fun. You need to make English part of your everyday life. It is not just a subject you study. It is a language you live. So, instead of studying for just 1 hour, think about how you can bring English into your normal day. There are many ways. You can use apps for learning English for a few minutes while you are on the bus. You can watch short videos in English, maybe a simple cartoon or a news report for beginners. Even watching with subtitles in English can help. You can listen to English music or simple English stories. And of course, you can listen to podcasts like ours while you are cooking, walking, or cleaning. The more you involve English in your day, the faster you will improve. Even if you are not living in an English-speaking country, you can create your own English environment at home. You can change the language on your phone to English, so you see and use English every time you check it. You can read short news articles in English. You can also look at English memes online. Memes are a fun way to learn because it does not feel like studying. You are still learning words, phrases, and expressions while enjoying the content. The more English you surround yourself with, the more natural it will become. Your brain will get used to hearing, seeing, and thinking in English without much effort. This speeds up the whole learning process. Over time, English will feel like a normal part of your life instead of just a subject you have to study. Now, there is another point that is very important for all kinds of learning, especially for English. That is consistency. You must stay consistent. Many people think they need to study for 2 hours every day. This is not always possible. They try it for a few days, get tired, and then stop completely. But here is the secret. You do not need 2 hours a day. Even 5 minutes a day can be powerful. If you train every single day, even for a short time, it is much better than studying a lot only once in a while. This is like the gym example again. Going to the gym for 5 minutes every day will make you stronger than going for 5 hours once a month. Small, regular efforts build habits, and habits build skills. When you practice every day, your mouth remembers the sounds, your brain keeps thinking in English, and your skills keep growing. It becomes a continuous process. It also feels less like a big task. If you tell yourself you only need to do 5 minutes today, it feels easy. And many times, those 5 minutes turn into 10 or 15 because you start to enjoy it. That happens often. The key is to not break the chain. Do a little English every day. This builds momentum. It builds confidence. And it sends a message to your brain that English is important. So we do it every day. Now there's another beautiful point related to your confidence. It is about celebrating your voice. Your voice in English is important because it is yours. Many people wait to speak until they think they are perfect. They think their English is not good enough or their accent is too strong. They decide to wait. But you should not wait to be perfect before you start. You start and then you get better. Your voice, with your unique accent and style, is part of who you are. Be proud of it. When you speak English, you are communicating. That is what matters most. You do not need to worry about being perfect. You only need to be understood. Being understood is easy, even with a little accent. Embrace your accent. It shows where you are from, and it makes you unique. The goal is clear communication, not to sound like a native speaker from one specific country. When you celebrate your voice, you feel more confident. When you feel good about speaking, you speak more. And when you speak more, you get better. It becomes a wonderful cycle. So next time you speak English, whether it is to yourself or to another person, smile and say to yourself, "This is my voice, and I am speaking English." The last point I want to share is a very powerful one. Your brain will follow your mouth. Many people think they need to know everything perfectly in their heads before they can speak. But in reality, it works the other way around. When you speak, your brain learns faster. When you use your mouth to form words, make sounds, and create sentences, your brain becomes active. It is not just receiving information, it is producing it. Speaking is not just showing what you know. Speaking is helping you know more. Fluency is created through practice, not only by reading books or listening to podcasts. Those activities are important, but the speaking part makes your learning real for your brain. When you force your mouth to speak, even if it feels hard at first, your brain quickly catches up and starts making connections. It is like your brain is saying, "We are speaking English now, so I need to give you the words, the grammar, and the correct pronunciation." Speaking creates a strong link between sound, meaning, and action. This is why it is so effective. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. Your brain will adapt to thinking and communicating in English directly. It is a beautiful process. I hope you understand now that training your mouth and your mind is all about practice and consistency. You can do it. Start small, be regular, celebrate your voice, and remember that your brain will follow your mouth. The more you speak, the better you will become. In the next part, I will share how to apply these methods in real-life situations, how to stay motivated for the long term, and how to overcome the most common fears English learners face. Let's now talk about how to use these methods in real-life situations so you can see real progress. The first thing to remember is that English learning is not only for the classroom or for study time. You can bring it into many parts of your day without needing extra hours. For example, when you are cooking, you can name the things you are using in English. Say to yourself, "This is a pan. I am cutting an onion. I am boiling water." When you are cleaning, you can describe what you are doing. I am washing the dishes. I am vacuuming the floor. I am folding clothes. These small moments add up and give your mouth constant practice. When you go outside, you can think in English about what you see. That man is wearing a blue shirt. Shop is closed today. The bus is coming. You can do this silently in your head if you do not want to speak out loud in public. This is how you practice thinking in English without translating. It becomes more natural with time. You can also use English with your hobbies. If you like watching sports, try watching an English commentary. If you enjoy cooking, follow an English recipe video. If you play games, change the game language to English. This way, you are learning while doing something you already enjoy. The more fun you have with English, the more you will keep doing it. Another tip is to join online communities or groups where people share your interests but communicate in English. This could be a Facebook group, a Discord server, or a forum. You will get a chance to write and sometimes speak in English with people who have the same hobbies as you. Because the topic is something you care about, you will be more motivated to communicate. Now let's talk about staying motivated. At the start, you might feel excited, but over time, it can be easy to slow down or stop. One way to keep going is to set small, clear goals. For example, you could decide that every day you will shadow for 5 minutes, repeat 3 phrases, and describe one thing in your room. These goals are small, but they are easy to complete and give you a sense of success. Tracking your progress is also very helpful. You can write down new words you have learned or record short videos of yourself speaking every week. When you look back after a few months, you will see the difference. This is a great way to remind yourself that you are improving even if the changes feel slow. You should also reward yourself for consistency. After you keep your daily practice for a week or a month, give yourself a small reward. This could be watching a favorite movie, enjoying a special meal, or buying something you like. Rewards make the habit feel even more positive. Another thing to keep in mind is that mistakes are not failures. They are part of the process. If you make a mistake while speaking, it means you are trying, and that is already success. The day they will speak perfectly, but that day will never come if they do not start now. Every mistake teaches your brain the correct way for next time. Fear of speaking is one of the most common problems. Many people are afraid they will sound silly or be judged for their accent. Your own and your goal is communication, not perfection. You can start by speaking alone at home until you feel more comfortable. Then you can practice with a trusted friend who will support you. Slowly, you can move to bigger groups or online conversations. If you want to speed up your progress, you can combine the techniques. For example, in one day, you can shadow a podcast, then repeat simple phrases with emotion, and later describe your activities in English. At night, you can think in English before you sleep. The more you mix these methods, the faster your brain and mouth will adapt. Another useful method is to have a theme day. On a theme day, you choose one topic for your English practice. For example, Monday could be food day. You learn food words, watch a cooking video in English, and talk about what you ate. Tuesday could be travel day, where you learn travel phrases and imagine you are in another country. This keeps your practice fresh and interesting. It is also helpful to connect English with your emotions. If you are happy, say what you feel in English. If you are frustrated, express it in English. This emotional connection helps your brain remember the words more strongly. The more natural and personal your English practice is, the faster you will remember it. Finally, always remind yourself why you are learning English. Is it for travel, for work, for study, or for meeting new people? When you remember your reason, it becomes easier to keep practicing, even on days you feel tired. So, to put it all together, train your mouth with shadowing, repeating phrases, and speaking aloud. Train your mind to think in English, starting with small thoughts and growing them over time. Surround yourself with English daily by using it in your hobbies, your home, and your online world. Stay consistent, celebrate your voice, and let your brain follow your mouth. When you do this every day, even in small steps, you will see amazing progress. If you keep these habits, in a few months, you will notice that speaking English feels much easier. You will think faster, speak more clearly, and feel more confident. English will stop feeling like a school subject and start feeling like a normal part of your life. And that is the moment you will know you are not just learning English anymore. You are living it. Hi ChatGPT.